Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Marc, the Intuitive Prospector, here for another edition of Metaphysical Mocha Mondays with Marc here on Ometimes Magazine. I hope that you had a great weekend. We're going to take the next half hour to talk about touching the spirit world and what you can do to interact with your loved ones who are only ever just a thought away. But before we get into the topic today, I'm going to have a new number for the week for you, a positive affirmation, a spirit totem animal, and a crystal that we're going to work with. So let me know where you're from if this is your first time joining Metaphysical Mocha Mondays with Marc. If you're returning as a spiritual prospector in search for your own spiritual gold, then you're going to want to grab your own coffee. I've got my Yoda mug today, and you can grab tea, you can grab a protein shake, and just give it a second for all of our awesome spiritual community and soul tribe to get on board with this morning. So let's talk about a few things here. Let me pause the music. Again, let me know where you're from. I've turned the comments off so I can get to today's topic. And after this is over at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, you can switch over to my Intuitive Prospector page, which is my business page, and I'll have a direct Q&A with you, readings, spiritual conversations, spiritual awesomeness. So a lot of energy in the air right now as we get ready for Mercury retrograde. So if you're not familiar with Mercury retrograde, make sure to Google it or check it out and research it. I pay attention because I travel a lot, and Mercury retrograde can just kind of put things in chaos. I work with technology a lot, so I've noticed it with technology, and I've noticed it when you're traveling. So there can be a lot of issues during the Mercury retrograde. It starts August 12th and goes through September 5th. And we're also going to be having a huge eclipse that's going to be taking place on August 12th. So we've got a lot of energy building up to the eclipse, and we'll have a lot of energy after the eclipse. And if you think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, something Nikola Tesla talked about all the time, you start to see the world with a different set of eyes, I guess. And so I'm very mindful of the energy, especially before eclipse and especially before Mercury retrograde. So it's a good time to get out into nature. It's a good time to breathe and relax and have meditations during this next couple weeks, just because there's going to be a lot of energy built up with the eclipse as well. It's going to be a very cool eclipse, so I hope that you get to watch it. I'm here in Seattle, Washington, and I think we're going to be able to see it. I know it's mostly going through the middle of the United States as it goes over, but I think it's one every 100 years. It's been a rare event, I guess, is the best way to put that. So I hope that you get the opportunity. I know that I've been seeing the full moon, and we've had a lot of forest fires around here, and the moon is red. So it's cool, but it's kind of eerie at the same time. So if you're joining, go ahead and put your comments down below in the comment section. Let me know where you're from. Let me know if you got your coffee, if you got your tea. I will come back after the video is over, and I do answer questions here as well. But what I've been doing is for the Ometimes Magazine platform is the way to talk about this week's topics, which is touch the spirit world, and then I do a direct Q&A on my Intuitive Prospector page, and I will put that link in the description field as well. But for the next half hour, not on our topic, but I'm going to give you a crystal, some numerology, and a totem animal spirit that came through on my meditation today. But I'm also want to talk about the Ometimes Institute. That's something I've been a part of for the last year. I've been teaching over on the Ometimes Institute, and it's a great platform, you guys. So all of my classes for this summer that are going to tie into today's topic about touching the spirit world, I've got 3 classes that I've done over the summer, and I'm offering a 10% discount, what I call a prospector discount code, for you to take advantage of all of my on-demand classes. So I have live classes, and I have an on-demand library over on the Ometimes Institute through Learn It Live. So I've taught about 14 classes now, I think, 14, 15 classes. And all 3 classes are on spiritual ABCs. So the spiritual ABCs of awareness, attunement, spiritual balance, breathing. And this month, on August 24th, I'll have my live class it'll be Thursday, August 24th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be talking about the C's of the spiritual, what I've coined the spiritual ABCs. It kind of just helps me with my own path. But it's about consciousness and connection to something bigger than ourselves. It doesn't have to be connection to an actual spirit person in the spiritual world, in the etheric world. It could be just connection to nature, connection to yourself, a way to find peace and balance for your life. But I'm going to be talking about consciousness, and I'm going to be talking about connectivity as the series finishes up over the summer of spiritual ABCs. Again, if you click down below in the comment section, there will be a link to the Ometimes Institute page. So I hope that you'll click on that, and we can go do a little spiritual prospecting for your own spiritual gold. So again, if you're just joining, thank you so much for joining in. I hope that you had a great weekend. I'm going to be doing spiritual conversations and free readings over on my Intuitive Prospector page, and I will put that link in here in just a second, just as soon as I can. But let's get into some meditation. I want to talk about ways that you can touch the spirit world. I wrote an article a while back, and I'll try to share that, and I've got some great past shows over on Inspired Living through my YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the field as well that you can click on for that. But I've got one specifically that I talked about spiritual pathways to mediumship over on my internet show called Inspired Living Radio, and that's every Wisdom Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and I'll try to copy that link as well. I'm trying to do the best I can to navigate here. Let's see, I got the playlist right here, so if you want to subscribe to my YouTube library, here's the link. Let me put it in the description field for you. Hopefully that pastes in. I just put it in the comment section, and you can check out all of my past Metaphysical Mocha Mondays with Marc. You can also catch all of my internet radio shows, about 2 years worth. A lot of great episodes, a lot of interesting topics, and amazing guests that we've had on Inspired Living Radio, and just the Ometimes Institute classes as well, and how to get to those classes. So let's take in a deep breath real quick. Let's just get to a place of peace and balance. Let me just turn on a little bit of music for us here real quick. I just want you to take a second just to get grounded, just to find some silence and to listen. Taking just a nice deep breath. Breathe in peace. Exhale worry. Breathe in happiness. Exhale stress. We'll get the Tibetan singing bowl going on. Just listen to that vibration. Breathe in joy. Exhale doubt. Protect your peace. Just get grounded. If you want to touch the spirit world, they're only ever just a thought away. Take in one more deep, cleansing, healing breath. Put your hand over your heart and release all that doesn't serve your spiritual path. And so it is. All right. So that's just a quick way just to get tuned in. Just a quick way to take some silence and listen, which is an anagram, same amount of letters, just a different way of spelling it, and a way to get grounded. And it's one of the steps that we're going to talk about today as we touch the spiritual world, or ways to touch the spiritual world, I guess. And if you do this throughout your day, and it's simple, you don't need you don't need to go to college for it. You don't have to do what I've done. You can actually, just sit where you're at and put both feet on the ground, be outside. Get the distractions out of your way, whether it's the life's distractions or the distractions in your mind, And when you do that, it's very amazing because the spirit world is a very subtle place and it engages with us at a very higher vibration. So I think of it this way: if we want to touch the spirit world, we've got to do something where we raise our vibrations up to a level and get rid of distractions, because we've got a lot of distractions, especially as humans, with technology and media and our careers and life in general, just the pathways of life. And when you get to a place of quietness and stillness, and you've raised your vibration energy up, and you've also set your intent is very, very powerful, because I'm a firm believer that energy follows your intent. So when you raise your energy up, the spirit world starts to lower their energy vibration down, and there's a blending that takes place in this what I call a spiritual sandwich, if you will. And it's through this blending, it's through this connecting to the spiritual world, that you can actually engage with those on the other side and have conversations. A lot of them, when I mean conversations, is they'll communicate with us through clairvoyance, is the ability to see in our mind's eye. It's thoughts. Because if you think about it, they don't have vocal cords in the etheric world, and they're not speaking like I'm speaking to you now, which is really just a vibration coming off two organs in your throat that create sound, and then we put that into words. So it's kind of interesting, and it's just a different way to look at conversation. Some people don't want to communicate with those on the other side, and that's fine. You don't have to. Some of you out there have spirit guides that you connect with. Some of you have angels. Some of you have fairies. It's whatever your belief system is. It's whatever you're tied to, and it's whatever connection that you want to have. That's actually, I think, the importance is, when I started out to do this work, I really was, why do I want to do this work? Because I didn't really want to do this work. I really wanted to just stay as a firefighter EMT, but that wasn't the path that was chosen for me. I had to retire from the fire service. And I'm glad that I did, because I would not be doing the spiritual work that I am today if I would have stayed on that career path. But it's just getting to a place of silence and stillness to blend with the spiritual world. So let me know where you're from. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope you have your coffee. I hope you have your tea, and that you're having a fantastic day. Try to set the tone on Mondays for the rest of the week. I'm going to be doing this for just a few more Mondays, and then I'm actually going to be, I think I'm going to be off in September, because I'm actually traveling out of country for the month to Europe, and so I don't believe I'll have the technology or the connection to actually do if I have that, I will try to do a live video, Travel to Transform series, where I do all the time, anytime I'm traveling. I just don't know if I'm going to actually be able to connect in. If I will give it a try if the technology is there, and I'll be trying to come from the island of Malta, which is right below Sicily, and I'll be in Sicily, and I'll also be in England for the month of September. So just a few more weeks of Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, and the Q&A after show right after this over on the Intuitive Prospector page. I've gone ahead and put my YouTube video in there as well, along with links to my summer classes, Spiritual ABCs, Level 1, 2, and this month will be Level 3, where we will focus on spiritual connections and spiritual consciousness. And if you can't catch the live video that I do, all of my classes are on demand and recorded. You can check those out, register, get the 10% discount until September 1st, so take advantage of that discount. And you can watch the class. I've had a lot of people sign up for the classes and watch the class and getting a lot of feedback that they really enjoy the classes that I'm doing. And it's not just me. There's a lot of great teachers over on the Ometimes Institute that you can check out. Lots of different topics too. A lot of fun, a lot of spiritual awesomeness. So today's message about touch the spirit world. What can you do to touch the spirit world? So I'm just going to give you a couple different things. Go ahead and put your name in the description field. I'll come back and answer after I'm done with the Q&A after show. If you've got a question, or let me know where you're from. First timer, returning as a spiritual prospector, is kind of do what we just did. Just get relaxed. I use sound. I use music. I've got a Tibetan singing bowl. I've got a set of chimes coming for my meditation CDs I'm going to be writing here in the next couple months. I'm trying to put together some meditation CDs. So just the sound and the vibrations is very great at getting to a place of relaxing and just grounding. You can take a nice bath, hot tub, use Himalayan salts, but it's a way to use sound and elements around you, whether it's hot water, whether it's being out in nature, and it's a way to try to just relax your energy, because the more you relax, the more you can raise your vibration. And when I mean ground, I mean like literally put both feet on the ground, go out and put your feet in the grass, put your feet in the dirt, touch Mother Earth as a grounding rod, if you will. And set your intent. I think it's important to set your intent so you're connecting and touching the spirit world in the right way. I don't get big into the whole Hollywood dark energy demons, all of that. I don't go that route. I set my intent to talk with my brothers. I've got a lot of family members, unfortunately, in the spirit world. But now that they're in the spirit world, both animals and a lot of family members, they're my spiritual entourage, and so they actually are a bridge that help me connect to do readings. So when I don't know somebody, and I'll demonstrate this over on the Q&A after show after we head over to the Intuitive Prospector page. It's really just about vibrations, frequency, and energy, and I imagine them in my mind as a bridge or a conduit to introduce people that are on the spiritual side to come over and have a conversation with me, because they don't know me and I don't know them, and I'm meeting them for the first time just in a different format of energy and a higher vibration. So there's still an introduction that needs to take place, but they know that as I've set my intent to be a spiritual medium and a light worker, kind of like a lighthouse, I guess, and kind of open my beacon as a light, for those that are searching, whether it's here in the physical world to connect with those in the spiritual world. That is how you can really touch the spirit world. Identify the spirit. Identify them in a way of, do they feel like a male energy to you? Do they feel like a female energy? Do they feel like they're older and they've been gone a while? Or do they feel like they're younger and just passed recently? And just ask your questions. A lot of times in my spiritual development group, I have a weekly spiritual development group, and you can also check that out over on the Ometimes Institute through Learn It Live. It's on the Learn It Live platform. It's a closed group, so you'll have to email me for more information. But we practice every week, every Wednesday, in doing all these different exercises and connecting to ourselves, the spirit world, nature, angels, guides, the etheric world, if you will. And a lot of times when I'm working with people, I'll say, did you ask the question? And they'll be like, no. Well, in the spirit world, if you don't ask the question, don't expect them to answer it for you. So it's important when you're setting your intent to be very specific with your questions. And this also helps with your evidence as a medium. If you're working as a medium right now, it helps with your accuracy and your mediumship in asking specific questions. Why am I seeing this man? This man to me feels like he would be your father in spirit. He feels older than you. Would you understand that? And get that interaction with the physical energy in the physical world, so you can get validations as well. It's important to get validations with yourself, or if you're working with somebody, and just have that conversation. But ask questions and then take the time to listen for a response. A lot of times people, the way that I look at, I know a lot of you out there have prayer in belief systems, which is important. Prayer is that energy sent out. Meditation is that energy coming back, and listening, sitting and listening for a response. Most people are so busy they don't take the time to disconnect so they can make time to reconnect and listen for the response. So it's important as you touch the spirit world, put your intent out there, ask your questions, and then listen for the response. And the response can come through many different senses. You have all sorts of your senses that you're using right now. See it, taste it, touch it, hear it, smell it. All of your five senses, not including your sixth sense, which is anything outside of the five known senses. So when you use those all together, which you're doing right now, most likely, you don't think about it. But when you start to listen and see what your responses are, whether it's the power of clairvoyance to actually see in your mind's eye, clairsentience, which is the ability to feel the spirit world, which feels like cobwebs or might feel like a gentle touch. If you watch a lot of the paranormal shows, you'll see that they feel like they're getting touched, or they may get scratched, or it feels like cobwebs on their face. That is energy, and it's all just energy, but it feels kind of like cobwebs. And I've had this experience myself when I know that the spirit world is touching me back, because my hairs will stand up, and I feel that clairsentiently. And so you have your different clairs that you can work with. Clairaudience, which is the ability to hear, clairgustance, and clairfactorial, which is the ability to smell and taste. So you may actually taste a spirit's, a person in the spirit world's their favorite food, or you may smell like tobacco smoke or a perfume. Write it down and practice when you are working in wanting to touch the spirit world. and it's pretty interesting. As I start to work, I notice that I talk faster, that my vibration kind of speeds up, and I have to kind of slow myself down. My heart rate goes up. My words actually just start going, and it's almost like I'm in tune with them. And they've done a great job of lowering their energy to work with me as a medium. And I like to say that we work for them. The spirit world does not work for us. And I've seen some mediums out there where they think that the spirit world works for them and it's on demand, and it really isn't. It's really just opening up, surrendering, being humble, and being the messenger for the person that you're reading for. And if you aren't reading for a person, if you're not a professional psychic medium, that's okay. If you want to just touch the spirit world and have interaction with your loved ones on a personal level, that's how I actually first started. When I lost my brothers, I've had a lot of tragedy and trauma that actually put me on this path today to be a spiritual teacher, talking to you here on Ometimes Magazine. And my first few years was about just connecting with them, not in a professional psychic medium way, but just my own path and being a spiritual prospector in search of my own spiritual gold. So other ways to touch the spirit world: your dreams. They come through in your dreams, so write your dreams down. Just writing in general. You can just take a quick second, take a breath in, write down what we call free writing, the hand of spirit, and write some words down. Pay attention in nature, spirit animals. I'm going to give you some spirit animals here to pay attention to, and sign symbols and synchronistic events that I talk about. I actually have a class over on the Ometimes Institute that you can actually check out where I talk about sign symbols and synchronistic events, and I've written an article as well on the Ometimes Magazine. So you can pay attention to all these different things that are surrounding you on a daily basis, because it's the power of the spirit world is in the right now, the present moment. It's not in the past energy. It's not in the future energy. It's what's going on right now. That's where your peace is. That's where your happiness is. And that's where the etheric spiritual world is right now in the energy that is surrounding you in your environment, wherever you're at in the world. So let me grab one more drink of tea. Remember, the force will be with you always. And again, music, movies, books, all very powerful of touching the spirit world. I'll give you an example. Just the other day was the anniversary of my father-in-law, who's been gone for 17 years. He passed away from horribly from MS, multiple sclerosis. And that day I'm home, August 4th, in Terms of Endearment. Come on, I haven't watched Terms of Endearment forever, but it was a movie with such a reminder about how important life is and how short life is. It's a reminder to live it, because you don't know what the next day is going to bring. And it's a very powerful movie. It's a very sad movie. It's an older movie from, like I said, I hadn't seen it in years. I actually forgot about some of it, but I was like, let me just watch Terms of Endearment just to see what the storyline was about. And it's just a good reminder. And movies can really take you out of your current day situation and really put you into a place of imagination, creativity, but also a way to touch the spirit world. I get a lot of movie references and a lot of music references in my mediumship. So that's something that I've honed in on. So some people have called me the movie medium, because I get movies. And sometimes people don't understand the movie. They haven't seen the movie. And I have them watch it as a way, because there's usually a message within that movie that's going to interact with them and mean a lot to them. So several ways to touch the spirit world. I'll be doing more Q&A on the Intuitive Prospector page. The link is down below. You can click on the link or just search the Intuitive Prospector page on Facebook, and I'll be doing a Q&A with you directly. I know there's a lot of comments coming in up here. I've got those turned off just for right now. I'll come back and answer them. But thank you so much for joining me here this morning. We've got about 6 minutes left before I switch over. So I want to give you just some stuff to think about, I guess, if you don't mind. And the first one, let me just add this here to the, I'll add the picture in, I'll add the number in, but your spirit totem animal for this week is going to be the toad, and I'll put the picture in when I come back, because I can't do it on the live comments here. But the toad shows up. If you're paying attention to the world of nature, the toad shows up. It's a good time to actually withdraw and find solitude to connect in, whether it's emotional, mental, or spiritual matters. You'll have the opportunity to review and clear some uncomfortable emotional issues from your past. So if you're seeing the toad this week, it's just a reminder to go back to your most primal, instinctual self of who you are and get disconnected from all of the drama in your life. If there's stress and worry in your life, see the toad, whether it's a toad in real life, whether it's a toad on TV, a toad in a magazine. If you see the toad, the spirit world is just telling you, find some time to withdraw into solitude and contemplate your emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual pathways and what you're doing. And so that is the totem animal spirit for this week, is the toad. And I wanted to read to you our positive affirmation was from last week's radio show, because it was the 1st of August, and every month we have on Inspired Living Radio, which is the internet show over on Ometimes Radio, we have a positive affirmation that we say for the month, and by doing so, the studies show that if you do it for a month, your words become your actions become your behavior, and those vibrations, you can tie your mind into that. So the positive affirmation I'm going to give to you for this week is, I don't have to be anyone but myself. Who I am is enough. That's your positive affirmation for this week until next Monday. Again, I don't have to be anyone but myself. Who I am is enough. Awesome stuff. I want to give you the crystal for the week, or stone. It's something new that I've been doing because I get to learn them as well. It's called Veracite, and I'll put the picture in when I come back. Veracite is a stone of encouragement. It's an encouragement stone. It's sourced in both the United States, Germany, Austria, the Czech Republic, and Bolivia. It's got a couple different colors of green. Oh, a little ant on me. You can't see it, but there's an ant on my... It's kind of cool. Touch the spirit world. Let him kind of go on about his day. Let me put him down here. The appearance is opaque. Sometimes it has little veins running through it, and it comes in a bunch of different colors of green, gray, and white, or intermix, and not to be confused with jade. A lot of times people think that Veracite is jade, or jade is Veracite, and they're actually two different stones. But what Veracite is extremely helpful for is it's... like I said, it's about bringing hope and encouraging. So if you're feeling down, grab some Veracite to help. Hold it in your hand, wear it as a necklace, wear it as a ring, because it's helpful with visual aspects of whether it's past life exploration, whether it's stimulating insights to any kind of patterns of diseases that you might be, health issues that you might be dealing with. But it's very healing in the nervous system, and it helps with blood flow. But it's also known as the stone of encouragement. I'll put a picture along with the toad, along with the numerology number, and this week's stone is Veracite, the stone of encouragement. I hope that you will check that out. Also want to give you the number that I pulled for today, which was the number 22. So if you're seeing the 22, and it's a very intuitive number. It's a master number in numerology. But the number 22, I've always liked the number 22. It actually was my number when I played in high school and college basketball. I was number 22. So I always resonated with 22. Don't know why. I just always liked the 22 energy. But from a numerology standpoint, the card I pulled for this week is 22, Intuition. When I pull the card for the 22, it's trusting your inner guidance. It's about embracing your intuitive wisdom that resides within your soul. And it's also urging us to honor our sensitivity at all times. So specifically, if you're seeing or wanting to touch the spirit world, which is today's topic, then check out the 22. You'll see 222 all the time throughout the week. Pay attention to any songs or movies that might come up for your loved ones that they loved in life. That's also a way for them to come through. For example, my father-in-law that passed from MS, one of his songs was Green Day, I Hope You Had the Time of Your Life, and we hear it all the time. And very random. I just heard it on a commercial the other day, and it's just a way of acknowledging the spirit world and them coming through just to say, hey, hello, I'm just a thought away, and I'm right here. I'm closer to you now than I ever was in the physical world. But so we've got the stone of the week, the positive affirmation of the week, the toad, and the number 22. And again, if you want to touch the spirit world, just find a place to get silent, get still, raise your vibration up, relax, get grounded, identify the spirit that you want to talk to, ask lots of questions, listen for the response back, write it down, and thank them for their time and their energy to connect with you. So that's all the time I have for today. Want to just thank you for joining me here on Ometimes Magazine for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. I'm heading over to the Intuitive Prospector page. Just look for the Intuitive Prospector on Facebook for the live Q&A after show, where I will turn the comments on and I will have a direct conversation with you, spiritual conversations, Q&A, free readings. We'll see what we're going to prospect for, because I never know. But I hope you have a great week. I'll see you next Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern here on Ometimes Magazine for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. Have a great rest of your week. Use the positive affirmations, and of course, be kind, be caring, be compassionate, and I'll see you next Monday here on Ometimes Magazine. Namaste.